Well, Conrad Murray served 2 years of a 4-year sentence. He joins us now live from the United States. How would you describe, Mr. Murray, your relationship with Michael Jackson?
Just a great friendship, of course, you know. I was also his doctor, but I spent more time with Michael as a friend compared to the times I have treated him medically.
You said, and you have said, that you feel that he's still somehow with you, that he talks to you. Is that correct?
No, I certainly don't hear voices, and that's been misconstrued in the press. Certainly, I dream of Michael. I have written letters to Michael, and I've also felt his touch. Actually, when the verdict of the civil trial was announced not too long ago, I actually felt his touch.
And
I did fall to tears.
And do you actually feel, honestly, in your heart, you believe that you did all that you could to save Michael Jackson?
I'll say this. I have done everything that I can. I did nothing wrong. And contrary to what has been said, I did not kill Michael Jackson. I think that is absolutely wrong when they make that statement. Michael Jackson was found basically lifeless, and all I did was to make every effort. I was so relentless in my effort to help Michael Jackson. He lived in a 14,000 square foot home, 3 floors, with no working landline telephones. Despite no effort by the paramedics, I got in an ambulance with him, I took him to the hospital, and I did everything I can to help my friend.
Well, obviously the jury didn't agree because they found you guilty and you served 2 years in prison. Now, you oversaw, as you said, Michael Jackson's health care. You say you were his friend, but you were also his doctor. How can you, though, justify that cocktail of sedatives and anaesthetics that you prescribed for Michael Jackson?
Well, let's talk about, you know, first you said the jury did not agree. If you were a member of a jury and you were sitting there and the chief prosecutor, David Walgren, altered evidence in the middle of the courtroom, and when we approached the judge, he said he did not do that. And then he writes a stipulation that was absolutely wrong. That would be considered obstruction of justice, and it would be malfeasance.
But why
by
did you,
a public official.
But why did you prescribe all of these sedatives to Michael Jackson and these strong drugs? Why did you do that? As a doctor, why did you do that for him? Was it because he was paying you?
Because what? Because
he was paying you an awful lot of money?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I received not a single dime from Michael for his care. I've taken care of Michael since 2006, years before he passed away. And despite my care and services to Michael, I never charged him. He paid for medicines, which, you know, clearly I was reimbursed, but I've never charged him, and I've never collected any of the $150,000 that has been shown to the world that I was receiving all of this income. I did not. I actually wanted to help Michael. When I was told by AG that Michael was so penniless, he could not afford his home that he lived in, he could not afford toilet paper to wipe himself. He could not pay for popsicles for his children, nothing at all. This man was completely impecunious. I was stunned. But despite that, I stayed with Michael because I wanted to help him.
You say you wanted to help him. Can I just ask you, you say you wanted to help him. Why did you then not advise him to cancel that tour, that forthcoming tour, when he was clearly not physically and mentally perhaps capable of doing it, but certainly not physically? Why, as his physician and, as you said, his friend, did you not say, Michael, you can't do this?
Well, I've asked Michael time and time again, and Michael says that he was up to 60% of his performance ability. I could not tell him to stop the show, not to go to the show. My whole goal is that maybe he would be strong enough eventually to go to England. Michael was in debt over $40 million. His only last piece of property was wagered as a mortgage against the money that he was being charged against. Well, AG was bankrolling Michael, all of the money, and he was getting further and further in debt. He was basically in a hopeless situation. He was despondent, he was discouraged. I don't think he had the ability to do the shows. He knew that. He wanted to have hip surgery to delay it. He considered trying to do brain surgery. And, you know, it was just odd. Michael was demoralized in so many ways.
Well, we don't know his financial situation. You know, you're saying that about the promoters. We don't actually know that. Do you honestly believe, as you've said, that you should be allowed to practice medicine again?
I have practiced medicine for 23 years. I am a critical care specialist. I have taken care of those who were flatlined, the worst of the heart attacks, the cardiogenic shocks. I have saved those patients. In 23 years, I have never had one disciplinary action by any medical boards in the United States. Through all the states that I practice, I've been in the most litigious states in the country, and I have had no warnings and no reprimand, not until this strike. This is the only blemish on my records, and I'm going to do my best to right a wrong that has happened to me.
Mr. Murray, thank you for joining us this morning. It's been fascinating.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed.